It is ramble time, my friends. All right, sailing development progress update. I'm really excited about this. This is the first news that we're hearing of sailing in quite a while, several months. So we're going to talk about it. But yeah, as you guys see, we have something brand new, something very special today. It is a Red Bull, and this is full ass sugar. I don't really normally drink these full sugar ones. Can you even see it? I can't even see that. Like, Jesus Christ. It says Karuba Elderflower. So this is a brand new summer edition Red Bull. We're going to be trying this. This is 160 calories. Like, nobody can afford this nowadays. Come on. We cannot. That is way too high in calories. Just 38 full grams of sugar, but I'm still going to drink it. I went and played pickleball today, so I can afford it. Oh, wait. What am I doing? What am I doing? Woo! There we go. That's not that good. It's not that good. I'm gonna be honest. It's all right. It tastes like tart apple. It literally just tastes like tart apple. What is that other flavor? It's like tart apple with some like uh sort of herbal tea sort of vibe to it. It's really strange. So, not very impressed. I'm going to give this about a 7.4. There is many reasons. Like, I don't ever really drink Red Bulls that much because they only have like I think there's like 2 flavors of sugar free. Well, I think there's like 3. I think the that white can, that berry one, has like a sugar-free option, but I never see it anymore. And then there's just the original. But like, who's drinking original Red Bulls? You know, I don't know. Like, they're all right. Don't get me wrong, but I don't prefer these, and they're really expensive, and they're fucking small. So this, I mean, this is a 12-ounce version, so this is a little bit more like calorically dense, I guess, or it just has more calories in the can. But yeah, I would give it a 7.4. It's all right. It tastes good. I'm not repulsed by it. But just knowing that I'm actually consuming just full-on sugar and some other chemicals doesn't feel as good as just drinking a sugar-free Monster. So anyway, 7.4, really good. I wouldn't recommend going out of your way to get it. It's not that special. There's some other, I think the best Red Bull that I've had is a strawberry apricot. That came out a couple years ago. That was amazing. That was a really good flavor, and that is full sugar. They're all full sugar. All Red Bulls are. All right, let's get into this bad boy. We're still in the rig outfit. By the way, you guys should check out the Rig and Dow Save cast. Just uploaded that yesterday. Okay, sailing development progress update. I watched this video, by the way. They made a video on it. I'll have that linked down below if you guys want to just get like the brief gist of this all. But I'm imagining most of you probably follow the old school channel already, so you've probably already seen it. But we're going to cover all the written portion of it so we can get a real good in-depth idea of what's coming with sailing. Ahoy there! We're thrilled to be sharing a much-awaited progress update on sailing, old school RuneScape's first new skill. The team has been busy implementing navigation, making player boats move seamlessly through Gillinor's open ocean. Admittedly, this part of the project has taken longer than we initially expected. We've encountered various technical obstacles that had to be overcome. While we waited, we used our time to get ahead of our later milestones, including rewards and islands. So as we see here, we are here. We're at Navigation Alpha. Yeah, so we got quite a bit to go. Honestly, I'm not worried. I don't think anybody's really concerned. The people that want sailing they want the team to take their time on it. And the people that don't want sailing are totally fine with this being delayed as much as humanly possible. So it's literally a win-win for the team to just really take your sweet time with this and really try to make it nice. So if we're taking a long ass time, this doesn't come out till 2027 or whatever, we're good. Like, that's fine. Just make it so when it does release, it's amazing. And it looks like there's 2 huge betas coming out later, and they're going to be really polishing this, it sounds like. The development roadmap now looks something like this. You can see that the skill cape and icon competition has moved into phase 3, while navigation in the tech alpha has been brought forward. Sailing is a very ambitious project, perhaps our most ambitious project to date, but we're confident that we can handle challenges as they come. We know you'd all prefer if we took our time with the skill instead of rushing it out the door. That's why we're so excited to show you all what we've been working on these past few months. Remember, what you'll see here today is still far from the finished product. We need your feedback to make sailing the best it can be, so be sure to tell us what you think. Navigation Milestone 1. All right, Milestone 1 is the biggest in the whole roadmap as it includes the technical foundation that the rest of the skill will rest on. While we've spent a lot of time getting it right, we do expect the other milestones to fall in place much faster. Navigating your way around the sea is shaping up to be very similar to how we described it during refinement, where you'll use the classic click to move controls to move your boat across the sea, while also moving your character on the boat. This is consistent for any type of boat, whether they're small, large, or colossal, although their movement speed is subject to change. We've previously shared a proof of concept prototype, but now it's time to look at the real deal. Again, this whole blog is linked down below, so if you guys are curious on these links, just click the link down below and drop a like on the video if you're enjoying these rambles. Also, if you guys want to just hear the audio only on rambles and you have Spotify, every single ramble I upload to Spotify, it's audio only, so you guys can check it out there. Give it a 5-star rating if you guys like it. Since our initial prototype, we've been busy laying the technical foundations for everything in the video above. This included improvements to the stability and performance of the Java and C++ clients, and the engine work required to make boats turn, control their speed, add collision, implement boarding and multiplayer options, increase draw distance, block out scenery, and more. You'll notice that we haven't yet implemented weather mechanics. We're still experimenting with this feature, and we want to ensure it feels right before we show it off. We realized early on that although both boats and player characters use click-to-move mechanics, we want navigation to feel distinct from player movement. When turning in your boat, it will move in an arc rather than instantly facing the direction you want to move in, which feels more natural. We're also working on a pathfinding algorithm and looking to see how we can offer more manual controls to lend a skill-based feel to the skill. This is something we're really keen to get your feedback on so we can ensure we're moving in the right direction. Our next technical innovation requires a bit of explaining. Behind the scenes, we have player entities and NPC entities that work very differently within the same code. Sailing utilizes a new world entity, which allows us to render players inside boats and interact with them while they move independently. We've already thought of a few more things we could use this technology for, like a large boss or raid encounter that takes place on a moving object. That's really cool, honestly. Speaking of objects, we've also improved how the game renders them at sea while adding a Z buffer to manage the depth of objects in the game world. This effectively adds a new dimension, improving how the camera works within the game world. This has also helped us implement proper boat collision, which is a feature we're still working on behind the scenes. You can expect collision to improve continuously as we continue through development. I wonder, that's just with the scenery, right? Like you can't just run into like a land or a fucking like random glacier or something but you can run into other people's ships, right? I'm assuming ships. I was just briefly browsing that Reddit thread of this post, and people were concerned about boats being like stacked up together, especially on release of sailing where everyone's on the same port. Like all of our boats, is it just going to look like a huge swarm, like a huge mess? I'm down for that, honestly. I'm not going to lie. I think there were some comments that kind of made me excited for the just chaotic mess of just boats stacking on top of each other. Ultimately, it just sounds just funny. I don't know. It's just cute. And obviously it'll cool off as soon as sailing, has been in the game for 6 months to a year. So we'll see. Last but not least, we've increased draw distance on the legacy Java client to make sailing more viable for players who still use Java. So why has all this taken so long? Frankly, we've had to bash a lot of bugs to reach the stage we're at now. Engine updates are much less frequent than game updates, so when we look to set up a beta world, we have to ensure that the engine version matches what we have in the live game. If not, players would experience compatibility issues when trying to log into them. This effectively means that we had to wait until all the tech for sailing was stable and ready to put into the live game before you could test it out. We're very proud of the progress we've made so far, but we want to know what you think. You'll soon have plenty of opportunities to get involved, starting with our open technical alpha. Oh shit. Okay, let's hear it. What's the technical alpha? We're delighted to announce that we'll be running the open technical alpha in the next few months. This will allow everyone to test the basics of navigation and experience a little bit of primary gameplay, including port tasks and shipwreck salvaging. It is refreshing. I'm not going to lie. That's like ice cold. It's still refreshing. It's tart, very tart. Our aim is to make sure that players enjoy what we've made during Milestone 1. And if all goes well, we'll be able to move into the next phase of development. Our other milestones all rely on getting navigation right. So we'll need to ensure that you're all happy for us to proceed before we really get stuck in. That's not going to happen. There is not going to be a consensus on like this feels good or not. Actually, it could, I'm assuming 70%, like a super majority. They're not going to poll this, but they want to make sure it feels good. I can't imagine everyone's going to be very pleased with this, but we'll see. I'm kind of excited to see what they come up with, how it feels. And I'm glad they're doing these alphas and these betas coming up because we'll talk about it in a little bit. But you know how like some of the core mechanics of sailing, like how you get XP is just like repairing things on your boat. If you guys watch the video, I really hope things feel very snappy. That video that I uploaded of those shortcuts that they added to the game with Project Rebalance, and just there's too much clunkiness, too much stickiness and stuff. I really hope and pray to God, to Jagex, to Saradomin, whoever, to Guthix at this point. I'm praying to fucking Guthix at this point. It's pretty bad. We're down bad. But yeah, I really hope that everything feels very fluid and it doesn't feel like there's stickiness going on in the boat when you're fixing things. And I hope things are rapid and snappy and bouncy. So we'll see. And the sailing, I hope that feels really smooth and not clunky and not like you're getting trapped and you have to do these weird backups and stuff. I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. Yeah, so we're also running a closed alpha sometime in early June, which will be open to around 20 NDA to players. This smaller alpha will focus on gathering initial impressions and seeing how this small test group feels about navigation. We're starting small simply to give us more confidence before we show sailing to the rest of the community. We know that first impressions can have lasting influence on player opinion, so we're hoping that extra layer of feedback will help us polish those last little details before we go public. After the closed playtest, we'll evaluate the responses we got and then decide when the technical alpha will be available for everyone to try. If the feedback is significant enough to warrant a lot more changes, we'll also update you on that too. The engine required to run tech alphas will be implemented in our next available update. While it should mostly be invisible, there may be some unexpected game behavior following the changes. So we'll be keeping a close eye on things to fix any problems as they arrive. Now for the disclaimer. We've decided to call this a technical alpha because it's less further along in development than a beta should be. Please bear in mind that what you see here is very different from how sailing will look at launch. This alpha is purely to test the navigational mechanics and boat movement. Even the primary gameplay is there so you can feel what these mechanics are like to use. While we're really excited to get you your first hands-on look at sailing, we'd like to keep the focus on how you feel about navigation rather than other concerns around the skill. That's very important. Additionally, this will be the very first time that multiple boats are stress tested at scale, which will help us understand impact on server and client performance. Things might break and this won't be a finished product, so please keep in mind that this is just an alpha and we're fully expecting there to be some rough edges. Regardless, these tests are critical to ensure that we deliver an amazing skill, and we hope they'll be a lot of fun too. All right, yeah. They're working hard, guys. I know I've said that in rambles and things. I have had a couple inside looks at what's happening, and the team that's directly working on sailing are working their asses off. It's pretty impressive. So we have to remember that there is so much that goes into this, and it is good for us to understand how big of a project this is and to really take what they're saying not lightly. Like, we really should be focusing on the navigation. Stop focusing on the other things. That'll come in time, hopefully. And yeah, so I think they're being very transparent about all this, and I hope we can all appreciate it. Navigation basics. So what will you get up to in the technical alpha? First, you'll want to head to Port Sarim and speak with a wee fellow named Junior Jim. Oh my God, little Jimmy. Little Jim. Little Jimbo. Who will help you aboard your boat. To begin with, your boat will be small and contain a few basic facilities. On board, click to move around the boat and interact with other objects on deck. To start navigating, click on the rubber or rudder. I was like, rubber? What are we clicking on? Click on the rudder or wheel. In navigation mode, you can click on the ocean to move your boat. You'll notice that your character is no longer able to move around the boat by clicking. This is a feature we've implemented to avoid misclicks at sea. Unfortunately, it means you can't interact with facilities until you exit navigation mode. We're really keen to hear how this feels, so do play around with it as you set sail. Your boat will always move at a certain speed, but you can make it faster by ensuring the sails are trimmed properly. You should notice that over time they begin to luff and wiggle in the wind. To trim them again, you'll need to disengage navigation mode and click on the sails, which will reward you with XP. Those of you who've been following sailing since refinement will spot that this is one of the core gameplay loops we were talking about, a simple, repeatable action akin to chopping trees and woodcutting or cleaning herbs in herb lore. You can also earn XP by interacting with the other facilities on your boat, including cannons, weighted dredging nets, salvaging stations, and more. Not all of these facilities are available during the alpha test, but you can still try out shipwreck salvaging to see how it feels. Boat terminology, roles, captain, the original owner of the boat and the player who initially generated it. The captain controls boat facilities and any other customizable options such as boat cosmetics. Crewmate, any other player on the boat. While crew management isn't part of the technical alpha, later you'll be able to acquire NPC crewmates too. Navigator, a player who's allowed to navigate the boat. This role is either appointed by the captain or navigator when the captain leaves the boat. Boat parts. Sails. Sails indicate whether the boat is catching the wind going at full speed or not. When they are not catching the wind, they are luffing and must be trimmed. Rigging, the rope attached to the sails. When the boat luffs, the player can interact with the rigging to catch the wind again. Wheel, used for navigation. Interacting with the wheel as the navigator lets you take control of the boat. Facility, a customizable functional feature on the boat. See the core gameplay refinement blog to see how things like sails, dredge nets, cannons, and cargo holds can be upgraded. Navigation controls, using the wheel. A player must be stood at the wheel or rudder to steer the boat. Later NPC crewmates will be able to take the wheel if needed. Transferring control. By default, only the captain can use the wheel and navigate the boat. The captain has the ability to transfer navigation controls to any crewmate and can revoke this permission at any time. A navigator can transfer control back to the captain if the captain is on board. They can only transfer controls to another crewmate if the captain is not on board. Embarking and disembarking. Disembarking. Okay. Boarding from a dock. Disembarking when no one is on the boat will despawn the boat. For now, players can dock their boat at a port by speaking to Junior Jimbo. Multiplayer. Other players can ask permission to board someone else's boat at port. You'll need to enter the name of the captain, whose boat you'd like to board, and the boat must be at the same port. Jesus Christ, somebody boards boats and ports. Leaving the boat. If the navigator on the boat leaves the boat by any means, controls are transferred to the captain. If the captain has also disembarked, then control is transferred to a random player on board. If nobody is on board, the boat will despawn. Jesus, just despawns. What if we've gold-plated our boat with gold leaves and marble? Or hopefully there's no marble on the fucking boat, or just that's a marble boat. Can you imagine? Teleport and death. Players can leave the boat by number of means. Death, teleport, log out, manually choosing to alight at port or mooring points. When the last player on the boat leaves, it will despawn. If the captain leaves in any way other than disconnecting while other players are aboard, a 5-minute timer will begin. If the captain has not returned by the time the timer runs out, the boat will be disabled. It cannot be sailed, and the facilities on board cannot be interacted with. Other players can stay on the boat as long as they want, or simply disembark by teleporting, logging out, or sailing the boat to a port. And when the last person disembarks, the boat is removed. This is a lot of information. I apologize, guys. You guys are probably like, what the hell is going on? In future, you'll be able to retrieve your boats and use them again and again, but this feature won't be present in the technical alpha. All right, got it. Sailing and islands. During refinement, we explained that islands and other points of interest will be a major part of sailing's reward space. Islands contain all sorts of exciting stuff, some from fearsome bosses to exciting ways to train your skills. But they also present a thrilling opportunity to discover and unlock new content as part of a bigger adventure. You could be the first person to stumble upon a new location, or you can set sail with friends in search of new challenges you've only heard rumors about. Islands are diverse, and there's sure to be one for every kind of player. To give you a taste of what islands have to offer, we're going to share a few early ideas, although we're not ready to let you see the full designs just yet. Look at that place, the Pandemonium. All right, the Pandemonium was a mighty boat captained by the most incompetent pirate to ever sail the seas. Okay. His name is Squawking Steve Beanie, and his greatest and only achievement was crashing his boat into a rocky islet off the coast of Karamja after getting turned around in the Temporal storm. Keen to ensure that no other would-be pirates make the same mistake, Steve has turned the wreckage of his boat into a towering, colorful bar where first-time sailors and veterans alike can come to get advice, meet new crewmates, and try the local specialty cocktail, the Bright and Noisy. Just watch out for the parrots. The Great Conch. You'll remember the Great Conch from our initial sailing blogs, where we also introduced the island's shelled inhabitants. The Tortugans are a friendly group of turtle folk who are in terrible danger from the Gryphons stalking the island's skies. In your time on the island, you'll help them out, earn their trust, and learn from their way of life. Aside from a new quest series, this large island brings new skilling methods for thieving, fletching, and hunter, as well as new resources to gather. The Cursed Archipelago. If you're familiar with the later pirate quests in RuneScape, you'll recognize the Cursed Archipelago as the accursed lair of Rabid Jack and his zombie crew. You'll get to pay a visit as part of the backported pirate storyline. Although, as always, there's an old school twist, which will make exploring the archipelago, I think I'm saying that right, a totally new experience. These 7 small islands were once a bustling fishing community, but are now home only to the restless undead. An outpost on the northernmost island is overrun by Maragals. Whatever they're protecting must be worth a great deal. Shrieking Rock. Until recently, smugglers used this natural cave system as a hideout to store their ill-gotten goods. But when they expanded further into the caverns, they awakened an ancient evil. Peering into the darkness, they found darkness staring back, and before they could escape, monsters poured from the shadows and dragged them back into the gloom. Since then, the island has been abandoned, but sailors claim that on moonless nights you can still hear the screams of the unfortunate smugglers echoing from the cave mouth. Jesus. Do you dare learn the secret of Shrieking Rock? That's fucking terrifying. Kelafos. This sunny island paradise has recently experienced an influx of new visitors. While the locals are pleased to welcome so many new faces, supplies on the island are dwindling and things are getting dire. Help to restore the balance, and this island could become your home away from home with a new player-owned house portal and island wall kit. Watch out for the cheeky crabs. Community Consultation Islands. That's all the information we can share about islands for now. Community feedback has been integral to sailing, and to ensure that you've got all the information you need to tell us your thoughts, we'll only return to the island discussion once we're further along in development. We have some fantastic ideas, if we do say so ourselves, but before we can have the all-important discussions around balancing and XP rates with you, we need to ensure that sailing stands by itself. Islands are full of new experiences and top-level resources, a strong reason to train sailing, but we don't want to give anyone the impression that this is a skill you're forced to train to get access to all the new experiences and high-tier resources. First, we want to show you that sailing is a skill you'll train because it's fun. Therefore, we're pausing the conversation about islands until you know a bit more about the skill itself. Once we've breezed past milestones 1 through 3, navigation, primary gameplay, and boat customization and crew management, we'll be ready to talk about islands and the rest of the sailing reward space. You'll see that the roadmap has changed slightly to reflect this decision. As a result, we've also delayed player-designed islands and icon competitions until a later date, but rest assured, it's still happening. We're really excited to show you the islands we have so far, and we'd love to hear your suggestions too. So that's a wrap on our latest sailing progress update blog. Next time, we'll share more details about the open technical alpha and tell you all about what went on in the closed technical alpha. If we're able to, we'd also like to talk about how far along we are with primary gameplay, including port tasks, Barracuda trials, and shipwreck salvaging, as well as our intended player journey from 1 to 99. Note that primary gameplay is heavily dependent on our work with the technical alpha phase, so we're not sure yet when we'll be ready to talk about it, hopefully very soon. For now, let us know your initial thoughts on what we shared with you today, and feel free to join the new skill Discord, where we'll be checking in to see your reaction to the blog and answer your questions. Join us on our Twitch live stream on Monday, 20th May for a live sailing Q&A. You can also discuss this update on 2007 Escape Reddit, the community-led OSR's Discord, or the Steam forums. For more info on the above content, check out the official Old School Wiki. That was a fucking doozy. That was a long blog, and I really didn't have too much input to share. I really just figured it would be cool to just go through this and just read it to you guys. I know a lot of you actually just don't even look at these blogs anymore. You just click on my channel, and hopefully I read it to you in a timely manner. So yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to sailing. Obviously, there's not much that was shown right now, but ultimately in the next several months, we're going to get a lot better of a picture of how sailing is going to be looking, especially navigation-wise. So let me know how you guys are feeling about this skill. Are you guys excited? What are your concerns? Are you guys like, give it like a rating, like 1 through 10. Like, how excited are you for this? Like 1 is like, hell no, I don't want this. And 10 being like, fuck yeah, I want this so bad. So let's hear it, and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed this. I know it was a very simple thing. I didn't have much to say, but hopefully in the next few months I'll have a lot more takes, potentially hot takes as well in regards to sailing, but I don't want to be too hasty, you know what I mean? So thank you guys for all listening. Check out the Rambles on Spotify if you guys are interested. Also, the Mod Ash cast, if you guys missed that, that was uploaded last week, as well as the Rig and Dow cast that was uploaded yesterday. Check those out. I will also be heading to Orlando, Florida next week, and I'll be there for about 7 or 8 days. So I'll be with the Based crew. So you guys will probably see me potentially on some streams or potentially on some podcasts. So there won't be any videos uploaded for at least like a week, probably a week and a half. So just expect that. And yeah, I'll be back in June, and we'll be ripping out some videos. So thank you guys, as always. Much love. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.